Hello, I'm Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest YouTube video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a flip through of my bullet journal pages from July along with my setup for August. And as always, I do tend to keep my planning system pretty much exactly the same. It's worked for me so well for a long time. So I'm just going to talk you through the different pages in my setup and how I use them. I really hope you enjoy the video. I keep my bullet journal inside this personalised cover from Start Bay Notebooks. It helps to keep my journal nice and protected. And the actual journal itself that I use is a Rhodia Gold book. And I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I was thinking of changing to a different journal, but I just like it so much that I'm staying with it as it is at the moment. So this was my setup for July. I shared in the last bullet journal video how this looked without any of the writing in it, just at the setup stage. So this was my calendar for the month. And I just make a note if I've got any calls, appointments, deadlines coming up, or just make a note of some of the things perhaps that I've been working on throughout the course of that day. And things went a little bit kind of wrong, I guess. During July I caught COVID and it definitely put me back with a lot of the things I planned on working on. So I know that August is going to be a massively busy month for me because I already had quite a few bits scheduled in, and I'm also playing catch up from July, but that's just what happens sometimes, and it's also why I'm really thankful to have a system where I can capture everything that I need to work on and migrate tasks over to the following month. So I'm filming this a little bit later than usual, so in the month, because I've actually completed all of my social media stats and my end of month review. So this is where I put things like how many Instagram followers, blog subscribers, Skillshare students, Patreon subscribers, those sorts of things here, so I can keep an eye on how those things are doing. And I then just write a quick review of how that month went for me and anything I might like to change for the next month. So this was my master task list for the month, and I separate this so it's kind of a brainstorm of everything that I either need to get done or would like to get done. And I've broken this down into journal with purpose, social media posts just because I'm great at taking photos of things and then forgetting to share them, HR work and things for me and around the home. Behind that I've got my gratitude log, and I fill out about a line or two, sometimes 2 lines an evening, where I just sit and try and put my mind into a positive place and think about the things that have gone well or that I'm just really grateful for that day. So it could be I've got things in there, an opportunity to push myself further, receiving some positive news, receiving a lovely message. So just the little bits which make each day that bit better. Behind there I've got my gratitude log, my habit tracker, and so these are my key habits, things that I want to focus on throughout the month that I think will help things kind of run smoothly. And some of my biggest gaps in there throughout the month was getting good sleep and great energy, and obviously that just coincided with when I wasn't very well. So there's not much I need to learn from that or do any differently, that's just one of those things. Behind that, my Be Proud pages, so in a really similar way to my gratitude log, taking a little bit of time every evening to think about things that I think I did well at. And that's most important if I get to the end of a day where I feel I didn't do very well at things. And I try really hard to make sure I bring myself back into a positive place to think about, okay, maybe some things went wrong, but there'll be plenty of things that each of us do every day which are just worth kind of recognizing ourselves for. And it could be making a healthy food choice, making sure that we've replied to some emails, whatever little bits it is, returning a phone call, clearing up a part of our house. I try and make sure that I recognize those on this page. This is my one line a day, so it tends to be a little bit of what I've been up to, but also perhaps things that are going on in the wider world, things that have happened in the news. So just a really kind of clear picture of what's happening in my life or around me during that day. And then this was my YouTube tracker. I definitely fell behind on YouTube during July. I got some bits out that I needed to, but I was behind on things like filming this flip through, doing journal with me's, tutorials, but I'm hoping to get back on top of this in August. And the same with my blog. And this was my mood tracker for the month. And I really like having that because it's a nice clear picture of how my month went. Behind that I have my Patreon plan for the month, and that I was able to stay on top of during July, and I try and share content over there 4 to 5 times a week along with weekly videos and the printables, so that's what I use to stay on top of all of those different tasks. That's my weight and blood pressure kind of tracking, and I check in with that once a week. And this I mentioned last time, I've written down lots and lots of online classes that I really want to take, and I'm hoping by having them here, when I do have some free time at evenings or weekends, I can come to this list and just pick a class or two that I want to take. And this is my current list of Patreon requests for things like either themes of printables or tutorials that I'm working through. And then behind that is my weekly and daily plans. So this is my weekly spread with events or things I'm working on each day. My top 3 things I want to get done each day, which I find really helpful to keep me focused. The tasks I want to get done that week. Things I either have to migrate to the next week or that I know I've got coming up. And a quick end of week review. And then that's my daily task list behind that, and I just use as much space as I need. And these were really kindly sent to me by Kuroko Studio, these stickers, and the washi tapes are from London Gifties. And this is the week where I wasn't very well, so I took all the pressure off. I stopped recording kind of top 3 things that I needed to get done. Because I just took each day as it came, thought about how I felt and what I felt able to work on, and to make sure I got plenty of rest rather than focusing on getting too much done. So it's quite a short task list for me the week after, sort of all the days after that. By this week I was feeling certainly quite a bit better, so I was back doing more work and setting myself those top 3 goals for every day. And this system just stays the same because it works so very well for me. And then we get into my setup for August, and as always I'm using my printables from the bundle I release over on Patreon. And so this is how it looks at the beginning of the month. I've got some things inked in, some things in pencil. If they're either just reminders, but I don't really need them to be recorded properly in my journal, I'll erase them once they've happened. Or if they're things I'm not quite sure of when they're happening yet. Again, my main tasks for the month, my master task list. This is my creative projects that I really want to either finish or start working on, and I just move this little post-it from month to month rather than having to keep rewriting it out all the time. And again, that same gratitude log, habit tracker, be proud, 1 line a day, my YouTube videos that I'm hoping to film throughout the month, also with my blog and mood tracker. And with Patreon, I tend to pencil out the content I want to share on different days, and then once I've done it, I will ink that in. It just gives me a feel for when I'm going to be sharing different things there. And then this is my weekly spread for this week, and I've used one of my new tapes from my product range launch with London Gifties, and again some bits penciled in and just making sure that I've got as much space as I need for each of those daily tasks. So I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video and that perhaps it's given you some ideas for your own bullet journal. And as always, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's joined me over on Patreon. Thank you ever so much for watching. I look forward to speaking with you really soon in my next video.